Hello there YouTube, hope you guys are doing well. As you can see, I am back again with my dad. Dad, good to have you back on the channel.
Good to be back with you.
And if you guys have not seen my dad on my channel before, he's made 2 appearances, so this is now your hat trick of appearances. I'll leave the link down below to the previous videos that we did. The first one was looking at his collection, the second one was looking at Clive Christian's X for Men, and in today's video we're going to take a look at this fragrance that I feel is my dad's signature scent, certainly one that I smell a lot on him, and it is Ormonde Jayne, Ormonde Man. So before we get into everything, Dad, how did you first hear about Ormonde Jayne? Actually, that's what I'm intrigued to know, because I think you found out about the brand before I even got into fragrances, actually.
Yes, a few years ago there was a program on British television, BBC, all about celebrating women in the industry, either a chief executive of a bank or a fashion house or whatever. And they interviewed the lady behind this perfume, and I was more interested in her than her product.
Okay.
Her philosophy was very simple. I think in life, the best things are free and they're simple. Like Mother Nature is so beautiful, you cannot recreate it. And her instead of talking about herself, I did this, and whatever, her message was very humble, very spiritual, and I got impressed by her more than her product.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. So, yeah, the lady behind the brand, Linda Pilkington, and she's been developing the brand of Ormonde Jayne. I don't know exactly, but it's probably maybe 15 years, going back to 2004, I think.
Yeah, so
a long time ago.
She had brought a sample of the perfume, so I made a quick note of that in one of my notebooks and in my brain, and forgot all about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a few years later, when I was in some very upmarket department store in London, I saw that perfume, and I was quite frankly staggered by the price of the bottle.
Yeah. You weren't used to spending that type of money on fragrance back then, I guess.
No, I mean, I could buy a couple of meals in that one bottle of purchase price, you know.
Yeah.
So I did try a small bottle, and you know how it is when you see quality, you recognize it. You might not be able to put your finger on as to why this is so good or I like it so much, but there is some hidden characteristics of quality.
Yeah, you said something similar in the Clive Christian X for Men, and basically what I feel is that the fragrance just really works on you. I think the style there's quality there, but it's not loud, it's not shouty type of fragrance. It's a little bit understated and has hidden depth to it, which I think matches your like personality quite well, actually.
But I don't want to be too melodramatic about it, but those people who are knowledgeable or know what they're talking about say very little. You have to ask them 10 questions before you find out their inner workings. And those people who have shallow knowledge about anything talk too much.
Yeah.
And I suppose a similar thing about perfumes. A perfume will, you have to ask questions, not the other way around.
Yeah.
You have to buy the perfume. The perfume does not sell itself to you.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, totally agree. So what we're going to do now is just get into a little bit of the presentation. So not spend too much time going into it, but there is this kind of cardboard sleeve that sits on the outside, which is nice, feels good in the hand, and then you've got this box here, which then flips open, and the bottle sits inside here. I personally would like to see some sort of cushion thing in here. It's all cardboard, but I don't know. Then you've got this card inside. And guys, if you want to pause the video at this moment in time, because there's a whole bunch of information in here, you can. So you can pause the video and have a look, but it describes the notes and the background. And then you've got this really, really beautiful bottle. Now, my dad used to have the old version of this bottle, which we don't have at the moment. Otherwise, I was going to do a comparison. But what do you think about this bottle design? I'm a big fan. It's very strong. It's not too flashy.
Just
masculine.
Just straight lines, without being fussy, uncomplicated. That's how people should be, uncomplicated.
Yeah.
You get what you get what you see. There's nothing. There's no monkey behind jumping and hitting you over the face with it.
Yeah.
No bells and whistles. This is just solid, good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So great bottle design. So Ormonde Jayne, the fragrance, in terms of notes, top notes, there's juniper berry and bergamot, pink pepper, cardamom and coriander. And in the heart notes, there's oud, black hemlock, which is kind of interesting, vetiver, cedar, sandalwood and musk. Dad, you just did a couple of sprays. What do you think about the fragrance? Even if you can't pick up on notes, what does it make you feel like? How would you describe it?
I think I mentioned it before. A nice gentleman's club in London, in St. James's, and I'm smoking a nice Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
Or what's the other brands we smoke?
Any of them. Partagas, all of them.
Partagas.
Yeah.
Cigar and a double espresso coffee.
Yeah.
That's what
A man dressed up in a suit, maybe, or smart clothes at least.
Smart clothes.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a suit.
Yeah. I think the fragrance lends itself to more smarter occasions. I would like to buy this bottle actually and wear it to work. I think it would work really nicely in those environments. Going out to dinner, something a little bit, not really casual, something a little bit more elevated. So we bought this fragrance in Harrods, which is a big department store here in London. And also what was quite nice of them is that they gave this little free gift set, which was quite cool. It's I don't know how much you can see there on the screen. It's a gift. It's a soap. It's a couple of soaps and a porcelain soap dish. I don't know if the light is showing it off very well, but that was a nice touch from the sales assistant. Yeah.
Yes, we haven't even opened the box yet.
Yeah, literally.
So one of these days we'll have to
have a bath.
Have a bath, have a shower or something.
So,
yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. So my impressions of this fragrance, it follows a lot of a pattern that you often find in Ormonde Jayne fragrances. A lot of the shared notes, there's that pink pepper, that juniper, that vetiver and cedar mix. It's very peppery and fresh. It's very masculine. I also find this one to be quite mass appealing in terms of a lot of people are going to like it around you. But it doesn't.
See, Raju, let's suppose tomorrow I was consigned to a desert island somewhere in the South Pacific.
Yeah.
And I was given just one choice of perfume or fragrance. I will choose this.
Choose this one. Interesting.
No questions. I will choose this.
Yeah.
Either this or Clive Christian, but this certainly.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely the cheaper one. This is 120 ml, sells for around £160, which, relatively speaking to other fragrances on the market is not too bad, but it's still, it's a significant amount of money still. So I was saying, it's mass appealing, but in the sense that it's going to appeal to a lot of people who smell it on you. But it's a niche fragrance that is not too difficult to get into. It doesn't have anything weird going on. It's quite classic in its style, woody, dry, spicy, and a little bit powdery as well. One thing I wanted to pick up on was, do you notice any differences in this one compared with the old bottle you had, which you probably bought 4 or 5 years ago, maybe?
I think perfume is a living thing. The minute you open the top, oxygen gets in and it has its own chemical reaction.
Yeah.
So I think it does not mature in a bottle, unlike a malt whiskey or a cigar, whatever.
Yeah.
So it starts to degrade the minute you open the bottle.
Yeah.
So I think there may be a slight difference. I'm not
Yeah.
such a brilliant. My nose is not that brilliant to notice the difference,
Yeah.
but I'm sure there is.
Yeah. One thing I would say that, because every time I used to come to my parents' house, which is where we're filming, I always used to sneak a couple of sprays of Ormonde Man from your old bottle. And one thing I would say with this one I've noticed is the opening, I don't get as much citrus as I did, or lime, as in the old one. It smells a little bit more powdery to me. But strangely, when I smell it from the cap, all I smell is lime. So it's a strange one. But these are just like small little things that the average person doesn't really pick up on. Overall, really good fragrance. I like it a lot. It's it has I like the use of synthetics in here. It's not completely natural. It has a good concentration and lasts a long time. But I feel like the synthetic notes in this help the fragrance last a little bit longer throughout the day. And Geza Schön, the perfumer behind this, is well known for using that. And it does have a lot of the DNA found in some of other Ormonde Jayne fragrances, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it, Dad. Thanks for coming on again for third time. And I will leave the link down below for the other previous 2 videos where my dad was in. But thanks for watching, guys. And leave a like down below. Subscribe and check out my Instagram page. And it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me, and thank you very much for watching.
Take care, guys. See you.
Bye.
Bye.